Good morning and welcome to the Adams County Fair. The beef show is going to be starting. Exhibitors with your registered breeding heifers, please bring them to the ring. Exhibitors with registered breeding heifers, bring them to the ring, please. For our first class of our day, we have our registered breeding heifers, class 100. We have Cash Bramer with his animal birth date of May 2nd of 23. Shay Wolf, animal birth date of March 25th, and Ada Lund, animal birth date of May 22nd of 23.
really competitive trio of females to go ahead and start off this breeding heifer show. Chose to lead off with two red females, Young Man's Red Angus appearing female. It just really does it for me in terms of combining the total package of having some femininity, having some feature, drawing back with a really attractive and really neat silhouette, but still having some substance and capacity when you step in behind the cattle. Really appreciate how this one's designed up through her front end. Maybe not quite handling the lead out here as well as we'd like her to today. She's seeming a little stubborn, but I definitely call that one sound out here. Really like how she is in as far as her condition. That just seems like a really logical place for me to start out here in the breeding heifer show today. Young ladies, Simmental red heifer out here. Like a lot of things about this one, she's probably got some advantages just in terms of pure base width and boldness in her rib shape and muscle, and those are some of those things that we've come to expect from the Simmental breed. Like how this one's designed up through her front end as well, and how her neck sits on the top side of her shoulder there. If I could change this one a little bit, I'd like to level her up from her hooks to her pins and give her a little bit more length of hip out there, and maybe just lean her up in her condition a little bit. But the young lady does a great job getting that one shown. Young lady's black Simmental heifer coming out here that rounds out the class, just unfortunately runs into two good ones in front of her. This heifer doesn't do really anything wrong for me. I think this one's got good top shape. She's got good boldness and depth of body. For me, I just need to lay this one back in the angle of her shoulder a little bit. And
Results from Class 100 registered breeding heifers. We have Cash Bramer first with a purple, Ada Lund second with a purple, Shay Wolf third with a blue. With that being our only registered breeding heifer class, we also have champion breeding registered breeding heifer goes to Cash Bramer, banner sponsored by PCSB Bank, and a reserve champion registered breeding heifer goes to Ada Lund. That banner is sponsored by the Adams-Taylor County Iowa Corn Growers. In the ring right now, we have Class 130 commercial breeding heifers. We have Nora Paul, Chase Sontag, and Leah Pearson. Our judge today is Cade Bracker. Cade lives in Leavenworth, Kansas. He grew up in Underwood, Iowa on his family's row crop and cattle operation. His love of livestock was developed on the farm through his county's 4-H program. While in high school, he started the foundation of his cattle herd through his involvement in the Iowa Junior Simmental Association and the American Junior Simmental Association. Cade attended Iowa State University, majoring in animal sciences, and was a member of the ISU livestock judging team. He is currently employed as a grain merchandiser. He also operates Bracker Livestock with his wife Jody and daughter Jane and their family, where they raise Simmental and Angus seed stock and show cattle. Let's give Cade a round of applause for thanking him for being here. All banner photos will be taken at the end of the show. All banner photos will be taken at the end of the show.
An interesting class as we get into these commercial females, and depending on how your operation works and where your priorities lie, I could definitely see some conversation between all three of these females. But for me, how I prioritize them is there is always one that I kind of came back to just in terms of having a lot of those ESTs, just in terms of growth, performance, some muscle, some extra shape. And for me, that's the young lady's red and brown nose female that goes ahead and wins the class. I think if you study this one from the side profile, you'd like to change her a little bit just in terms of how she balances from nose to tail. She's carrying a little extra chest, and like to see her with just a touch more depth of center body to help her balance out. But when you view her from the three-quarter view and study her at the base of her rib, she's actually very genuine in the amount of body and shape she's got. She's got plenty of muscle, plenty of base width, good set of feet and legs on her. I think this is one that the young lady can take out, turn her into a cow, and have a lot of good productive cattle here in the future. That's a nice project for that young lady. Next two females coming out here, a little bit more red Angus appearing in their type and kind. But for me, the young lady's heifer that goes ahead and goes second, I think just has a little bit more to offer in terms of look. I think two females that are pretty evenly matched in terms of their performance. For me, this one sets her head up on the top side of her shoulder a little bit more attractively and a little bit more correctly as we study her out of her front structure. Like that one from a depth of body perspective, I think that's just a nice functional cow prospect. Go on, take her to some more powerful bulls, make some good productive cattle, and keep making the next generation better. A lot of things to be said about this young man's heifer that rounds out the class as well. Again, a good, productive, easy-keeping type of female. For me, she just gets a little bit off on both ends. I'd like to elevate this one in her pin set and change her how she's built out of her front end. But again, a good, easy fleshing, low-maintenance type of female that I think can work in a lot of applications. Let's give those exhibitors a round of applause, please.
Congratulations to Leah Pearson, first place with a purple. Nora Paul, second place with a purple. Chase Sontag, third place with a blue. Leah also receives the Champion Commercial Breeding Heifer. That banner is sponsored by PCSB Bank. The Reserve Champion Breeding Heifer goes to Nora Paul. That banner is sponsored by the Adams-Taylor County Corn Growers. We'll now be bringing in our Champion Registered and our Reserve Registered. Our Champion Registered Breeding Heifer is Cash Bramer. Our Champion Commercial Breeding Heifer is Leah Pearson. Our reserve champion breeding heifer is Ada Lund, and our reserve champion commercial breeding heifer is Nora Paul. This is for contention of the supreme champion breeding heifer.
Very nice group of cattle out here. Not a lot of numbers out here for the Adams County Fair Heifer Show, but I think if you study these cattle from nose to tail and identify some, or kind of their point in the industry, I think they're all good in their own right. Some advice for you all going forward as young breeders and people trying to figure out what you want to do with this cattle deal and how far you want to go into it. At the end of the day, you have to like the kind of cattle that you're raising and you're putting out there, because you're the one that's got to look at them every day. So I think that's important to take home is make sure you're making the cattle that you like and you're happy with them, but also balance that with taking some constructive criticism and looking for opportunities to continuously make these cattle better. I think that's a good sign of a good herdsman and a good breeder, and something that my wife and my family and I try to do every day is we try to be critical of our cattle, but at the end of the day, we got to be happy with these things. So I'll kind of keep it brief here. I know we've got some more to get through today. For me, looking at these cattle and studying them, there's two that really sort to the top out of these 4 red females. So let's give these kids a big round of applause, and I'll go get your champion in reserve.
Supreme champion breeding heifer goes to Cash Bramer. Our reserve Supreme Champion breeding heifer goes to Ada Lund. The Supreme Champion breeding heifer banner was sponsored by the Adams-Taylor County Iowa Corn Growers. The reserve champion was also sponsored by the Adams-Taylor County Iowa Corn Growers. Cash will be representing Adams County at the Best of the Southwest Shootout on July 28th at the Taylor County Fairgrounds. Look for him there. We'll move into Class 130, Cow-Calf. Coming into the ring, we have Class 130 Cow-Calf. We have Reagan Sontag in this class. Her calf birthday is January 22nd of this year.
A very nice single entry cow-calf pair that these young people bring us out here. And this is kind of what I'm looking for, just in terms of a moderate, easy flushing cow that's got a good honor, a good set of feet and legs, plenty of capacity and width, but is obviously putting a lot of energy and a lot of nutrients into that calf. Calf has plenty of growth at side, good set of feet and legs on him. He's definitely athletic, gets out here and moves very well. I think that's a nice cow-calf pair that's very productive and has obviously been successful out here. So let's give these young people a round of applause.
Results from Class 130, Reagan Sontag first with a purple. We'll now have our second class of cow-calf pairs. Class 130-2. In this class, we have Dana Shires. Her calf was born April 9th. Shay Wolf. Her calf was born April 18th. After this class, we will have both of our class winners come into the ring for contention for our champion cow-calf pair.
a really nice group of pairs that these young people bring us out here. And I think for me, when you study these cattle and compare them to each other, this Angus appearing pair out here just has more of the combined package for me. You study the cow in her own right and really appreciate how this one balances up from nose to tail. Nice refined udder on her, gets around the ring fairly well. She's maybe a little full today and kind of laboring a little bit, but for a cow, I won't falter. Putting a lot of growth into that young bull calf. That calf's got some power, he's got some performance, and that's definitely a positive that we need to talk about out here. Just a really good all-around pair for those young people out here. Not to take away from the young lady Simmental pair out here, because I think in its own right is very good. Study that cow's udder, really like the suspension on it, maybe like to refine her teat structure just ever so slightly, and maybe balance that cow up a little bit. But in terms of just being a good-footed cow that gets around the ring and moves very well, I think there's a lot to like about that one. Doing a good job raising that calf. I think there's a lot of future for both of those animals right there. A nice group of pairs. Let's give these young people a round of applause.
Results from Class 130-2. Dana Shires first with a purple. Second goes to Shay Wolf with a purple. We'll now bring back our first place from Class 130 into the ring. We have from Class 130, Reagan Sontag, birth date of January 22nd of 2024. From Class 130-2, we have Dana Shires. Her calf was born April 9th.
a very nice lineup of cow-calf pairs that these exhibitors bring us. And again, I think we need to point out that no matter where you're at in this industry, I think all of these cattle are good. They're all getting out here, they're all raising these calves and doing a good job at it, and they're all being productive. And I think at the end of the day, that's really the bottom line. You know, these show heifers are fun to take out, show every weekend, try and win some banners and some of those things. But at the end of the day, they all got to lay down, they all got to have a calf, and they all got to do a good job doing it to earn their place at home. So I think that, again, that's something that we always try to pay attention to and take care of. Are these cows doing their job and making our bottom line? So with that being said, I think there's, of these three, there's two that do a really good job out here for me. That's going to be the two females out of that last class, the two black pairs. Very nice cattle. Let's give these exhibitors a round of applause.
Our champion cow-calf goes to Dana Shires, and our reserve champion cow-calf goes to Shay Wolf. The champion cow-calf banner was sponsored by Milner Insurance Services. The reserve champion cow-calf banner was sponsored by Blake Anderson. We'll be moving into our bucket bottle calf class, class 210. In the ring for our class 210, for our class of bucket bottle calf, we have Max Ramsey. His calf was born April 6th. And we have Bryn Stark. Calf was born March 5th. I would like to take the opportunity to thank the Adams County Cattlemen. They are sponsoring several different things through the cattle show. They're trying to increase our numbers here at the cattle show, and they're doing a great job of it. They are providing money to kids that bring bucket calves to the show today. They're also providing money to kids that bring their returning bucket calves as a market animal or a breeding animal. And then they are providing money for the returning cow-calf as well. They also are sponsoring the open cow-calf class out here to the south of the barns. Those are being judged currently, and that results will be announced before our showmanship today. The Adams County Cattlemen is a great supporter of the fair, and let's thank them for all of their support of the beef industry.
Great to see two young showmen out here excited to get back at it. I asked them both if they were going to be coming back next year, and they said they were. So it looks like Adams County has a bright future out here. Two great young showmen, obviously out here, excited to learn, excited to get involved in this project. For both of you, I would just suggest keep working on these cattle and keep watching these older kids. We're going to get into showmanship here the rest of the day. Come over and watch these seniors show and try and learn some of the things that they do, because that's how I always learned and how I always got better was watching some of the older kids. So great job, you two. Young ladies, Red Calf just has a little bit more performance out here today. But I encourage you both to take these cattle home, keep feeding them, because they'll change a lot over here the next year. Folks, let's give these kids a big round of applause as they exit the ring.
Results from Class 210. First place, Bryn Stark with a purple. Second place, Max Ramsey with a purple. Bryn also receives the champion bucket bottle calf. That banner is sponsored by the Adams and Taylor County Iowa Corn Growers. Max Ramsey receives the reserve champion bucket bottle calf. That banner is sponsored by Bella Vita Salon. Our next class is Class 260, our pen and market beef. They are in our pen barn over here on the east side of the livestock barn. If anyone would like to go listen and watch the judging of that, you're more than welcome to head on over there. Our judge will come back and talk to each of the individuals here in the ring on the microphone. We do have 6 pins of 3 back there. We have Addie Morgan, Dylan Stormer, Hallie McManus, Aspen McManus, and Madison McManus. Again, those are going to be judged in the pen barn over here on the east side of the livestock barn. You're more than welcome to go back and watch the judging. The judge will come back to the ring and talk to the individuals here in the ring. We will be back shortly.
Probably just too close to it. She would seem like it's almost all the way up. Won't be turning it down. Turn it down? Yeah. Pretty loud. I think that guy will talk. You talk pretty loud.
You gotta talk loud.
Okay, I'm talking loud.
Sorry, we're checking speakers to make sure that the volume's good.
Is everybody good? Are you guys good over there?
I think across the board, this is an awesome project for these kids. I kind of went through and asked them some things about their cattle, where they got them from, what kind of breed they were, what they fed them, and some things they might like to do different, and some things that they liked and that they learned this year. So I think this is a great project. It's real, it's honest. Get out there, and it's more real world, I'd say. But I think this is some great things to learn for the future and kind of get out there into the industry. With that being said, kind of looking at these cattle and evaluating them as individual pens, I was looking for consistency and performance. I think those are some things that are definitely needed here in the industry. Across the board, great pens. Pardon me while I get my paperwork out here. But there were two that really stood out for me. A lot of great growth. I thought they were pretty consistent in terms of how they were grouped up as pens. And that would be, so the first place pen for me is going to be pen 499 of Addie Morgan. And then the second place pen will also be Addie Morgan's her lighter pen. So two very nice pens there. Addie talked about a lot of good things as far as her selection and learned a lot of good things this summer, so I think that's awesome to hear. Following up in third, we'll have Dylan Stormer's pen. Dylan actually raised all those cattle, so I think that's awesome to see coming out of his own herd. Coming up in fourth, we have Allie McManus. And then fifth, we have Aspen McManus. And then rounding out, we have Madison McManus. Again, all good pens, just some slight differences. Some of them maybe needed to be more consistent, a little bit more time on feed just to get truly finished. But again, across the board, great job. I hope you do it again next year. Let's give these kids another big round of applause.
Results from Class 260, pen of market beef. We have Addie Morgan, entry 499, first with a purple. Addie Morgan, entry 226, second with a purple. Dylan Stormer, third with a blue. Hallie McManus, fourth with blue. Aspen McManus, fifth with a blue. Madison McManus, sixth with a blue. Addie receives the champion pen of 3 banner sponsored by Blake Anderson, and she also receives the reserve champion pen of 3 sponsored by the Adams-Taylor County Iowa Corn Board. Congratulations again. We'll take those banner photos at the conclusion of the show as well. Thank you. I'm going to turn over the mic to Dr. Ryan Shuey to announce the cow-calf pen open class here so he can head back to work. So Ryan, go ahead and come on in and announce your cow-calf class.
Okay. All right. First, I really want to thank everyone that participated in this cow-calf show. It was, I think, a huge success, and I think a lot of people have been really happy with the results. I guess this was the thing that the cattlemen's we brought together, and we wanted to do something different to try and get animals to the fair. You know, these county fairs, you go to all these county fairs, and they're struggling for numbers, and this was a way that we just came up with to get more animals down here and try and grow the beef show and the participation in the beef events. So, that being said, I had 5 judges come and rank their top 5 and did a point system from there. And every single judge that I had commented on how hard of a show this really was. So they were very, very impressed with the quality cattle in Adams County. Every single judge had a completely different top 5. So, which I thought was, yeah, they were very, very impressed, and my goal for selecting those judges was to get different breeds and different production types, and so like I said, they did come to kind of a common deal, but it wasn't easy for them. So what I've got, so champion cow-calf pair goes to Jimmy Amdor. Reserve by 1 point goes to Karen Carlson. And then top junior project, so we did 1,000 for grand, reserve gets 500, and then top junior project, that goes to Reagan Sontag. So we will get you guys your checks shortly. The other thing I am going to put a plug in for, if you haven't seen the Cattlemen's, we started our new project already. We are pushing for improving the playgrounds down in Grove Park. If you haven't looked online, and it's going to be in the paper today. This is something that obviously we have no playground in the town right now with the school being redone. And if you drive by Grove Park, you know, this is something I never would have thought of before I killed children, but the Grove Park playground, it's old and tired. So, and it's definitely something that needs improved. The Cattlemen's, we came forward. Obviously, this isn't quite beef related, but it's community related, and we think it'll really improve the community. The Cattlemen's, you know, obviously we're trying to headwind this. The city, we went to the city last night, and they pledged $20,000 to help go forward with this fund. So the playground that we're looking at building, it's going to be somewhere in the $60,000 to $80,000 range. So that's what we're looking at fund-wise. As of right now, with pledges, I'm just under $50,000. So it's coming. Our goal is to complete those by the end of July. That gives us a 10-week lead time to get that playground installed, built and installed. So that way it'd be usable for the kids this fall. So if you guys have any questions, I'm completely open to that, or any of the board members. But like I said, it's something that we're trying to do with the community to better it.
Thank you, Ryan, and thank you to the Adams County Cattlemen for sponsoring the Open Cow-Calf pair classes this year. We'll be moving into our lead market division here. And we'll start off with our registered market beef, class 220. As they're coming to the ring, we'll go ahead and talk about some of our announcements for the rest of the day. The Adams County Fair Board barbecue meal is going to start at 4:30. It will be out here by the barns this year. The 4-H Youth Council ice cream stand will start at 5 p.m. out here as well. You can see some more cattle here at the Adams County Fair at the Bottle Buckaroo Show at 5 o'clock here at the show ring, followed by the Barnyard Show Buddies here. Then at 6:30 p.m. we will have our livestock sale, premium sale. In the ring right now we have class 220, our registered market beef. We have Ada Lund. Her calf weighs 1,270 pounds.
A really nice single entry that the young lady brings us out here in the registered steer division, and I think a really high quality individual in his own right. You study him from nose to tail. He balances up fairly well. Maybe like to elevate him just a touch in his chest floor, but if you study him from the ground up, he's a big-footed, big-bone calf that's got plenty of base width and is very genuine in how he carries that width up to the top side of his skeleton. Sets his neck out right there at the top side of his shoulder and is very proud and neat fronted up there, I'd call him. And you study him from his shoulders back, he's got plenty of power and plenty of product in him. He may be pounds light considering what we're harvesting steers at right now, but considering that he might have an endpoint further on, I think this is a very high quality individual that could have stood some competition out here. Let's give this young lady a round of applause.
In Class 220, we have Ada Lund receiving a first with a purple. She also receives the Champion Registered Market Beef banner. That banner is sponsored by the Adams-Taylor County Iowa Corn Board. We'll move into our crossbred division, starting with Class 230-1. Coming into the ring, we have Class 230-1. We have Alex Morgan. His calf weighs 1,275 pounds. And we have Quentin Cordone. His calf weighs 1,280 pounds. We'd like to recognize our superintendent, Tanner Lund. Thank you, Tanner, for being our superintendent of our beef division. We'd also like to thank our ring help today. We have Craig Stockup, Brett Henningsen, Dustin Schuler, Gary Goldsmith, and Michaela Haug. Let's give all of them a round of applause for their help today. Thank you.
interesting pair of steers as we get into these crossbreds, and I think both of them are pretty similar in terms of type and kind. For me, the young man's calf that goes ahead and wins the class, when we study him from the 3/4 view and from behind, I think he just comes supplied with just a touch more mass and foot and bone. And when we set him into motion, he gets out and travels a little bit more comfortably, particularly off his rear two pasterns there. Nice calf to go ahead and win the class. Young man's calf coming out here in second again. Similar in type and kind to the calf that goes ahead and wins this class. For me, just reads is a little bit flatter at the top side of his skeleton and maybe a little bit more timid and tender off both ends when we set him into motion. But a nice pair of calves there. Let's give those exhibitors a round of applause.
Results from Class 230-1. We have Quentin Cordone first with a purple. Alex Morgan second with a purple. We'll now be bringing in Class 230-2. Entering the ring right now for Class 230-2 of our crossbred market steers, we have Jackson Hogan. His calf weighs 1,370 pounds. And we have Tyler James. His calf weighs 1,372 pounds. While they're in here, we are going to announce our champion rated gain. Our champion rated gain goes to Jackson Hogan with a 4.03 daily gain. Let's give him a round of applause. And our reserve champion rated gain goes to Tyler James with a 3.59. Congratulations. The champion rated gain banner was sponsored by the Adams County Farm Bureau. The reserve champion rated gain banner is sponsored by Schuler Farms. After this class, we will bring in our first and second of each of the classes for contention of champion crossbred market steers.
Interesting dynamic as we get this last class of crossbreds out here. Young man steer that goes ahead and wins the class isn't the biggest or the stoutest or the heaviest muscled, but I think he is the combination steer that puts together adequate muscle, adequate finish, and gets out here and does it in the best looking package and the most structurally correct package. When we set this calf into motion, I think he gets around the ring and moves fairly well. He balances up all right from nose to tail. I maybe like to give him a touch more shape at the top side of his skeleton and a little bit more shape down through his stifle. But again, I think a nice calf that just does everything right out here for me today. Nice calf to win the class. Now the heavy muscled, big-ended calf with a lot of base width is the young man's black steer sitting here in second. You step in and handle him, and he's got plenty of spread up top, plenty of shape down in through his lower quarter, and just a big-ended calf. But for me, where he falls into, kind of defaults to second out here today, is just in terms of his structure. The young man's calf is getting a little bit over in his knee, touch swelling in his hock, and some of those things that we need to be careful of and paying attention to as we get these cattle to heavier weights. But a nice pair of cattle there. Let's give those exhibitors a round of applause.
Results from Class 230-2. Tyler James first with the purple. Jackson Hogan second with the purple. We'll now be bringing in our first and seconds from each of the classes for contention of our champion crossbred market steer. From our Class 230-1. We have Quentin Cordone. His calf weighs 1,280 pounds. From Class 230-2, we have Tyler James. His calf weighs 1,372 pounds. Second place from Class 230-1, we have Alex Morgan. His calf weighs 1,275 pounds. Second place from Class 230-2, Jackson Hogan. His calf weighs 1,370 pounds. This is for contention of our champion crossbred market steer. After the selection of the champion and reserve champion crossbred market steer, we will bring back in the champion registered market beef for contention of the grand champion market beef and reserve champion market beef.
As we get these cattle back out here for the champion crossbred drive and just evaluate them as individuals, I don't know that for me out here there's one that's just absolutely perfect finish. I think all four of these cattle could maybe use a few more days on feed just to really get there, but that's all right. Take these cattle home or on to their next destination and maybe put a few more pounds on them just to get them finished. But for me, I think there's two that really sort to the top just in terms of having enough muscle but the structure to get out and move around the ring and be productive cattle. So with that being said, let's give these kids a round of applause. I'll get you a Champion Reserve crossbred.
Our champion crossbred market steer goes to Tyler James. Our reserve champion crossbred market steer goes to Quentin Cordone. Our champion crossbred market steer banner is sponsored by the Adams Taylor County Iowa Corn Board. Our reserve champion crossbred market steer banner is sponsored by the Adams Taylor County Iowa Corn Growers. We will now bring in our champion registered market beef and our champion crossbred market steer for contention of grand champion market beef.
Sit down for a minute. Oh, we're fine.
Our champion registered market beef is Ada Lund. Our champion crossbred market steer is Tyler James. Our reserve champion crossbred market steer is Quentin Cordone. This is for contention of the grand champion market beef and reserve champion market beef. After this, we will start into our showmanship classes. We will do seniors first, then the intermediates, and then the juniors.
A really nice group of cattle out here so far today, but a great group of kids. And I think for as small in numbers as this county fair is, I think it's great to see all the community involvement and everyone trying to be creative to come up with new ways to get numbers at this fair and really rallying around this county fair to get everyone here in just the community with the playground. I think that's awesome. Support of the agriculture industry down here. Getting into the cattle, I think there's really one out here for me that does a lot of things really well just in terms of being a show steer, but also just has a lot of the fat cattle fundamentals that we need. Good structure, good feet and legs, good big bones, but plenty of product in him as well. And then I think there's one that also just is a really good reserve. As I said earlier, I don't know if any of these cattle are really absolutely finished, and I think they could all use a few more days on feed, but keep it in mind, these cattle may have other destinations and different endpoints. I think they're both very good in their own right. So with that being said, I'll shut up. We've got some showmanship to get to here after this, but let's give these kids a big round of applause. I'll get you a champion reserves here.
Our grand champion market beef goes to Ada Lund. That banner is sponsored by Farm Bureau Financial Services, Nick Wetzel Agency. Our reserve champion market beef goes to Tyler James. That banner is sponsored by Bella Vita Salon. We have one addition. Before we go into our senior showman, we are going to go ahead and recognize our champion and reserve champion Rate of Gain as they parade through the show ring. Our champion rate of gain is Jackson Hogan. His daily rate of gain is 4.03. And our reserve champion rate of gain is Tyler James with a rate of gain of 3.59. Let's congratulate those boys again. We'll move into our showmanship classes. We are going to start off with our senior showmanship, move into our intermediate, and finish with our juniors. Senior showmanship, please be with your cap at the ring. For our senior beef showmanship, we have Shay Wolf, Ada Lund, Cash Bramer. Chase Sontag, Tyler James, Alex Morgan, Quentin Cordone. Judge, this will be your senior showmanship class. We've been asked to announce that the open cow-calf pins are free to go at any time, but please make sure that you do clean up your pin area. Open cow-calf pins, please make sure that you clean up your area down there when you leave. Thank you. As we're getting close to lunchtime, we do have food options here on the fairgrounds. We do have the snack shack in the fair building with all of your snacks and drink needs. We also have the Cruising Cafe. They are on the west side of the pavilion, as well as Summer Ice. Please stop down there and enjoy some delicious treats. Thank you. A couple of announcements for our exhibitors. At 2 o'clock this afternoon, non-sale livestock is released. Non-sale livestock is going to be released at 2 p.m. The static exhibits are released at 4 p.m. today. The static exhibits in the building are released at 4 p.m. today.
Great to see all these seniors come back out here for senior showmanship. Back in my days of showing, as much as I don't feel they were that long ago, it keeps getting longer and longer. But when I was a junior, showmanship was one of my favorite things, and I made sure I was out in the ring for every showmanship contest I could. Just because I didn't know if I had the one that could win the show and get the banner at the end of the day, but I knew that I put in the work at home, and I had the confidence that I could at least get something done in the showmanship ring. And I think that's an important thing to take home is you might not have the best calf there, but you can show it to the best of your ability and make it into something that's really nice. And all that starts at home and just coming to these shows, getting out, learning as much as possible. So with that being said, some things I look for in showmanship are really who can get their calf in, set up, and dialed in the fastest and looking the best, and do it the most effortlessly. Things past that I'm looking for is who can manage the ring very well, making sure that their calf's in an appropriate spot in relation to everything else. Keep it against the rail so I can see these cattle better and keep it in line and some of those things. So I think there's 3 showmen out here that do a very good job at presenting their cattle. Some things I'd like to tweak about a few of them, but I understand I only get to pick one, and I think there's 3 young people that do an amazing job out here. So with that being said, let's give these kids a round of applause, and I'll go to you, champion senior showman.
Congratulations to Ada Lund, our senior beef showmanship. We'll move into our intermediate beef showmanship next.
How you doing?
In the ring right now, we have our intermediate beef showmen. We have Nora Paul, Leah Pearson, and Jackson Hogan. Judge, this will be your class of intermediate beef showmanship. Banner photos will be taken after the conclusion of the junior beef showmanship. They will be taken in order of the program, starting off with our breeding heifers, our cow calves, our bottle calves, 10 of 3, our market beef animals. Again, banner photos will be taken after the conclusion of the junior beef showmanship. We have one group of individuals that we have not thanked today. We would like to thank all of the parents, grandparents, and supporters of our 4-H and FFA exhibitors here. So let's give a round of applause and thank you to all of the supporters of our individuals.
Another really good group of intermediate showmen out here, and I think some things that I'm looking for at this age level is just making sure that you can get your calf in and set up efficiently and really identify the faults that your calf has and show those things out of it and show your calf or show off the things that your calf does well. Kind of really the point of showmanship, but there's one individual that I think does a good job out here of getting their calf set up and getting them set up properly and efficiently. So with that being said, let's give these kids a round of applause. I'll go get your champion intermediate.
Our intermediate showman goes to Nora Paul. We will have our junior showmanship class next. Our junior showmanship class next. For our junior showman, we have Max Ramsey and Bryn Stark. Judge, this will be your class for junior showman. For our photos, we are going to take the junior showman photo real quick in the ring, and then do also our bucket bottle cap while they're in the ring as well. So those will be the first photos we take.
as we finish up here today with the junior showmanship contest. I want to thank everyone for having me out today. The show has been short, but the kids have been great to work with, and I really appreciate you having me out here. Thank you to my ring help alongside keeping everything moving out here today, and keeping the show moving. Talking to the announcers up there, this is maybe my hardest decision of the day. But for both of you, I hope you just keep learning, keep watching the older kids. You're already starting off on the right foot with these calves being broke. So take them home, keep working on them, keep feeding, and keep learning. So let's give these kids a round of applause. I'll go get your champion showman.
Our junior showman goes to Bryn Starr. Let's thank Cade one more time for coming and judging our beef show today. Thank you, Cade.